Welcome in. Happy holidays. We are here at the end of the year. It's gone by so fast, but we are here for Grinchmas 2025. Here's a mini guide to give you guys some basics about what's going on, the shows, the characters, and whatnot that you can do at the holidays. There's about 5-ish new shows right now at the parks, along with, of course, classics like Waterwood, and you can also just have a fun time in Nintendo Land and whatnot. So join us right now, and we'll talk about all the basic fun stuff you can do at Universal Studios Hollywood. This is all footage from the first day of Grinchmas, so things may change here and there, but mostly this should be the event for the rest of the year. Until next time, safe journeys. Hit that like, hype, share button, and until next time, safe journeys. All right, start us off on the note of crowds. There may be more crowds than you're used to. This is like the busiest time besides HHN. These are like the busiest times for like normal operations. This is busier than summer from what I've seen. So get ready. There may be lines to get into the park or lines to even do security, which is just not average on most days, but right now it could be very busy. Also be looking out, there's going to be schools that are going to be off for the holidays and all this stuff. So just be aware, bring your patience, because this is a big thing. The Grinch's line normally is about 45 minutes to 2 hours, somewhere in that range. It kind of depends on the day, what time you get there and whatnot. Earlier morning is not a bad time to do it, but you also are going to be missing rope drop times. So you kind of have to prioritize what you would like to do, but you can get to the Grinch if you're there at opening. That's one of the best times to kind of go to the Grinch, but you can also wait till later if you want a nighttime photo. He does have his new photo op location, and he's a delight as always, and I'll be putting out videos once again with just pure me meeting the characters and all that later on, so be on the lookout for that as well. I also want to highlight that Hello Kitty is also meeting right now in a holiday outfit along with Shrek. Donkey did not have his ears on, but normally Donkey is also a part of that, and a lot of the other characters like Poppy or King Julian have a nice little scarf around their neck also for the holiday season. So be on the lookout for them because they're awesome. The street cleaners, there's like a little show that happens like every 45 minutes in the middle of the day kind of next to the plaza. That show is now a holiday version as well, I believe. So you can check that out as well if you're looking for more holiday cheer. The tram doesn't have much holiday cheer, but some of the drivers do wear hats or scarves, and they also have a Hollywood sign as well that's all wrapped up. It was all bloody for the spooky season, and now it's all wrapped up again, healing up for the next year of Universal Studios. And besides that, you can also go down to Super Nintendo World. Down in Super Nintendo World, everyone, there is some photo ops right at the start. I would say that the photo op with the snowman is great at any time, and that the one on the right with the whoop pipes is also great, but I will say it might be a little bit better for that at nighttime because it is lit up. And when you walk in, the land is dressed up mainly at the castle and gazebo area in the front, but the poles around the land do have some extra stuff, and there are some other little decorations, but mainly at that front is where you're going to get the most cheer for Super Nintendo World. And that's really what they do there. You can meet Toad and all of them, but they're not in winter gear or anything like that. And to highlight more, just even though Waterwood, it is cold, that will still have a line. So will Mummy, so will Transformers. These things do have lines, so just be on the lookout for lines. Same thing, the tram had a pretty long line when I was there, and it's a tram. The tram can eat a lot of people. So once again, bring your patience for this. And there are 3 Grinch locations I should mention as well really quick. There is one for annual pass holders only down at the lower lot near Jurassic. It's right near. You can ask cast members about that. And then there's also a meet and greet over at the end of the tram. So you might be getting out the tram, and that might be a great time to go meet the Grinch as well. So you can kind of do 2 things at once if you're trying to get that done. So there are all 3 locations for the Grinch, which I love. Thank you so much for doing that, Universal. We really appreciate you. And yeah, just make sure on the hours, because some days they do close a little bit earlier still, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks there will be more dates with later times if you want to see more of the holiday lights. And to also talk about more holiday fun, we do have in Hogmeade, there is just decorations everywhere. It is also nice at night, of course, and most nights they should be doing the castle show. There is a Harry Potter calling me right now to tell me to stop talking about this magic. No, but the castle show does happen. Check the app for times. If you can't find them on the app, in front of the land there'll be a digital sign that should tell you the times for that day. Does it always have them? It might be later on, but normally it runs the last couple of hours before the park closes, and it's about every 20 to 30 minutes depending on. So and it does fill up at some of the more earlier shows, but normally at the later shows you should have an easier time. But this is also dependent on crowds as well. So just if it's super packed, just be aware of that. That means there's a lot of people, so you might want to get to some of these shows a little bit earlier. Speaking of shows that's in this bit report with the Grinchmas stuff that we do have going on in the Grinch area, we're going to end it with that. Besides Mr. Grinch, there's also Max and also the Who's walk around. So if you want to meet some Who's, they're everywhere. Go meet them. They're wonderful. They'll take a photo with you. They'll all have cast members, so you may have to do a selfie or have a friend take it. But some of them do. You can even meet the band that's been there. They used to be called the Who Bebops. And I'm going to be honest and say I don't remember their name right now because that's the name we've known them for years. But it's the same kind of band, but new performance. This is a new show this year. We finally get a new show for Grinchmas. I'm very happy. This is awesome. And this new musical show has a couple of different songs, and they've kind of diversified the musical lineup. So very good. Definitely worth checking out. If you can't get a seat, it's okay. You can just stand and watch from most locations around the stage, and you're going to hear it just fine. And if you're even waiting for the Grinch, you might even just hear it just because, and you get a free show. And they're wonderful performers. A lot of the Who singers are from last year, and it's great to see them again. So thank you so much for coming back. We always like to have the festive music in there. Cindy Lou, who does also read the story of how the Grinch Stole Christmas, and this is a cute little thing, and afterwards you can go meet her in a photo opportunity. She also does one version in Spanish, which the tour also has Spanish times as well if you're looking for that. But there is one showtime. You can go check the app, or at the very least ask a cast member or a team member, and there's also sometimes a digital board nearby that will have the showtimes and kind of tell you what's going on with that as well. But the app should have most showtimes, greets, all that kind of stuff that's going on. And then there's the big show. Here's the big one. The big show that everyone wants is a tree lighting show. This show will start taking place around probably 5:30 or 6, depending on what day it is. And this show is just a few-minute cute little show doing a little reenactment of some of the Grinch story, along with some new fun stuff. And they improvise. It's always kind of a different show. It's really fun. This one, to get a seat in, just so you know, the first two rows of seats a lot of times are just for accessibility. They may not even have that marking, but just so you know, as someone who got kicked out of those seats this year with no marking on the second row, just a heads up, they may kick you out. So if you want to be taking a seat, be in the third row or back, just to play it safe. It's a great show though, totally worth it. Similar to the Castle show, the first shows are a little bit busier normally, and the last shows are not as much. Obviously, once again, your mileage may vary here. And one last note, actually. Let me do one last note. That's the basics of the Grinchmas stuff here. Oh, wait, sorry. There's also a whole Grinch food takeover. I've had the sandwich. It was pretty good. The lemonade is also good. Neither one you're going to be upset with. There's a couple food items, though, over at the Hollywood and Dine right in the front. And right next to that, on an ending note here, Glenda and Elphaba also meeting from Wicked, but they won't be here the entire event. They're only going to be here till, I think the first week of December. But maybe if you guys go and tell them we want them longer, we'll get them the whole event. But for right now, that's where they'll be, is in the front. So thank you guys so much. If you guys have any more notes or anything else you want, any questions you want to ask, please put them in the comments below. Let us know what your favorite part of Grinchmas is, or the holidays. Just let us know in the comments below, and give people extra tips if you want. We always love doing that, of making sure that people have the best time they can. We go so often, and we want to make sure you guys have just as good a time. So until next time, safe journeys. We'll have more videos soon. I will be live at Universal Studios in the next week, most likely from whenever you're watching this video. And until then, safe journeys, happy holidays, and we'll see you at Grinchmas.